Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Graveyard Shift podcast, where we discuss all, if not mostly, horror topics. This is the second episode of the podcast, and I wanted to do this episode specifically because of a certain video I watched, and this is basically my response to this guy. Now, if you don't know this video I'm talking about, it comes from a channel by the name of Everday Horror, and the title of the video is Halloween YouTubers Not Being Truthful About Halloween Kills. He posted this a day ago. I watched it, and there's some things I definitely disagree on with this guy. Before I get into the full video, like discussing my response to this guy and everything like that, let me just basically state before, just kind of discuss what this video is really about, why this guy made the video. Again, the title of the video is Halloween YouTubers Are Not Being Truthful About Halloween Kills. I was like, okay, what are they not being truthful about? So I clicked on it. The guy was basically talking about how Halloween YouTubers are lying about their opinions on the movie. I think he's coming up with some sort of conspiracy theory that basically a lot of the big Halloween YouTube channels like Dave McRae, Drum Dums, We Watched the Movie, have all basically were being paid by the studio Blumhouse to say positive things about Halloween Kills, and just to be completely positive with the movie. I'm not sure about that. I think that is a ridiculous theory, actually, if you ask me, and I'll get into more about this later on in this episode. Before I get into that, I would like to discuss my thoughts on Halloween Kills. Now, this podcast episode will be uploaded after me and Josh review Halloween Kills, which we did watch the movie. We watched it on Peacock. My initial thoughts are still the same. I actually rather enjoyed the movie. I liked it better than Halloween 2018. Like, here's the thing. When I watched Halloween 2018 for the first time, we watched it in the theater back when it came out. I was so excited for the return of Michael Myers and everything like that. No pun intended. The return of the OG Myers, like the original Michael Myers. Not the Rob Zombie Michael Myers, nothing like that. And I did have some issues with Halloween 2018 even when the film first came out. And since then, Halloween 2018 is one of those films where the film presents more issues the more times you watch it. At least it did for me and Josh. Not to say there were things we didn't like in the 2018 film. There were still some things we did like even back then, and still things we like now. Like, again, I like James Drew Courtney as Michael Myers. I think he's definitely up there with one of my favorite portrayals of the character. After Halloween Kills, he's really neck and neck with my number one, which is Nick Castle. So he's really neck and neck with Nick Castle as Michael Myers for my favorite portrayal. I liked Laurie Strode. I liked her character in both movies, and Jamie Lee Curtis's performance. I liked Andi Matichak as her granddaughter Allison, both in Halloween 2018 Halloween Kills. She was one of the few characters I wanted to see come back. I also did like Officer Hawkins. That was one of the deaths in Halloween 2018 I was kind of saddened over, because I would have liked to see Hawkins return for Halloween Kills, and they did do that. They had him survive the events of Halloween 2018, and I'm really excited about that, and seems like he's going to have a bigger part to play in Halloween Ends when that comes out next year. If that comes out next year, you know, because of the pandemic. And of course, the music by John Carpenter, Cody Carpenter, and Daniel Davies. Really like the music in both of the new movies. There's still a lot I liked about Halloween 2018, even still now with me watching it several times and that, but there's a lot of stuff, like, I've noticed a lot more problems with each subsequent rewatch. But in regards to my thoughts on Halloween Kills, again, we've only seen it once, so again, our thoughts could very well change on Halloween Kills the more times we watch it, whether we end up liking it more the more times we watch it, or we like it less and start to notice more problems with the film like we did with Halloween 2018. And there's still some problems I had with Halloween Kills. Like, for one, I will admit it was very unrealistic for this timeline to already jump to where the town of Haddonfield creates a mob and just tries to vanquish the evil that is Michael Myers and that, and their whole channel, like, evil dies tonight, you know, like, that was a bit unrealistic in my opinion, because in the original Halloween he only killed like 5 people, something like that, you know, not very much. And of course, well, 6 if you count Judith Myers, but he only killed like about 5 people during the events of 1978, and these people who 40 years later only just recently found out about the more recent murder sprees that took place during the 2018 film. So I really doubt that they would be like joining this whole mob. Now, do I think some people would kind of go around searching for Myers and that? You know, yeah, I think some people will, you know, especially the people that were the victims. But I doubt the entire town of Haddonfield would join forces in that and be like, you know, creating this lynch mob. At least in this timeline. Now I can maybe see that's happening with one of the other timelines, like especially like the Thorn timeline, like Halloween's 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, because Myers kept on coming back to town to terrorize the town and everything like that. We even saw a little bit of a lynch mob formed in Halloween 4. In my opinion, it was a little bit unrealistic. Another thing is, while actually weirdly enough, me and Josh did like a Judy Greer as Laurie's daughter Karen more in Halloween Kills than we did in the 2018 film. I don't know. I still think I think maybe if our character was more developed in the 2018 film and actually developed better, because I did have some issues with how she was developed in the 2018 film, and her performance was better in the 2018 film, maybe I would have come around to her even way more so in Halloween Kills than I did even now, but I do think she is better in Halloween Kills than Halloween 2018. But even with that, I still on the opinion that I think Danielle Harris, if she were to have come back as Laurie's daughter, she didn't have to be this exact same character that she was in Halloween 4 and 5. I do think she would have put in a much better performance in Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills for sure, and I think a lot of fans would have been more emotionally connected to that because she is a fan favorite actress throughout the franchise. Plus, it would have been cool to see Danielle Harris alongside Jamie Lee Curtis for the first time, you know? Especially since I know Danielle Harris still to this day have yet to met Jamie Lee Curtis, actually. The fact that for a while in the original run of the franchise, she played her character's daughter. Danielle Harris became a fan favorite for the fans of the franchise. That would have been cool, and that I think that would have been much better. If I was in charge of the new Halloween movies, like this new trilogy, I would have casted Danielle Harris as in the role of Karen, or I heard there was an original draft of the script where she, like, I think she might have had 2 daughters, I don't know, or it would have been just who ended up becoming Karen, but I heard the original name for Laurie's daughter in Halloween 2018 apparently was Jamie. I would have done that, and that would have been not only a nice wink in not to Halloween fans, but again, I think Danielle Harris would have done a much better job as Laurie's daughter in the new Halloween trilogy. I just think overall she's a better actress and actually does care for horror movies and cares for the fans of the genre. And also too, I feel like the film could have been longer, actually, because I felt like the film was, like Halloween Kills, was paced way too fast, you know? So they could have done more development on certain characters and everything. I feel like we barely got to know certain characters. I do have some issues with Halloween Kills and Halloween 2018, but I'm not going to ignore some of the good things that were in both movies. If there are stuff that are legitimately good in both movies, I will straight up say there are legitimately good things in both movies. Now that I basically discussed my opinions on the new Halloween trilogy so far, and that let's discuss more into this video. So yeah, apparently this guy thinks a lot of people who are just like a lot of the Halloween YouTubers, like horror YouTube channels, that are discussing positively about Halloween Kills are not being truthful, actually, in that actually they actually think Halloween Kills is garbage, like complete and utter garbage, and they're not willing to say that because apparently they have connections with Blumhouse and all that different stuff. Now, do I think that could be the case for some of these YouTubers? Maybe, like I can maybe see Dave McRae a bit, because he is within the industry and everything like that. Could I see that with the channel Dead Meat? Maybe, because he did got interviews with the Free Strode women, Jamie Lee Curtis, Judy Greer, and Andy Matichak. He scored interviews with all 3 of them. Could I see that with channels like Drum Dums and all that stuff? Not really. As far as I know, they really don't have any real connections to the studio, Blumhouse, or anything like that. So even channels like Dave McRae, the guy did mention in the video about how he's made multiple reviews of Halloween Kills so far. He did some for his multiple watches and that. And he's starting to change his tune, starting to notice more of the problems and that of Halloween Kills, and starting to let his viewers know about the problems. I'm like, I don't see how that's a bad thing, you know? Again, opinions change over the course of time, you know? Like, again, I was less critical about Halloween 2018 than I am now, and even back then I was critical about Halloween 2018, but as time moved on, I started to notice more and more of the problems and everything like that, and actually it's kind of ranked lower on my list than it would have been back then. Could that happen with my thoughts on Halloween Kills? Sure, I think it could. You know, the more times I watch Halloween Kills, it could potentially, my grade for Halloween Kills could be lowered, and my ranking, where I would probably place Halloween Kills would be lower. But he's basically stating that, again, these channels apparently know Halloween Kills is a garbage movie because he thinks Halloween Kills is a garbage movie, and they're not willing to tell the truth about it. I think this guy is a bit condescending, actually. Like, he feels like, it's almost like he feels like his opinion is the only one that matters. And newsflash, I don't know your real name, but I know your channel's name, Everday Horror. It's not. Your opinion does not overweigh other people's opinions. Now, are you wrong for having your opinions? No. I mean, if you feel like Halloween Kills is a garbage movie, that even one of your previous videos, it's like Halloween Kills Rant, possibly the worst movie in the franchise. You know, if you feel Halloween Kills is the worst movie in the franchise, you know, that's your opinion. I'm not trying to talk trash to the guy. It's like, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in his head. Why does he think that this conspiracy theory is sound? And I watched the video to see if he would showcase proof of all of this, and I'm like, he doesn't have any proof of the fact that these Halloween YouTubers, like, again, like Dave McRae, we watched the movie, Drum Dums, and all of them are being paid or have these huge connections with Blumhouse and everything, and therefore are lying about their thoughts on Halloween Kills so that they, I guess, don't upset the fanboys or don't upset Blumhouse because they may have potentially get future work with Blumhouse. I don't know. Like, this guy hasn't showed proof of that. I mean, where's your evidence? Where's your proof that this is the case? There's none. You have zero proof of this. Until you got actual evidence to back this up, I'm going to say that you're full of bullshit. Until you actually get proof of this, I'll be like, you know what, maybe you got an actual legitimate point. He mentioned how channels like Drum Dums have basically been like, not truthful and everything. Now I'm like, now Drum Dums did state in his channel, and this guy, Everyday Horror, did not mention this in his video, because I've seen a lot of these channels' videos about Halloween Kills and all that stuff, even before I watched the movie, because I wanted to know what their thoughts were. And then I went to watch the movie to kind of develop my own thought. If you actually watched Lee McCoy's video on like Halloween Kills and add his review, he did mention that, just like with Halloween 2018, could it be possible that the more times you watch Halloween Kills, his opinion may change on the film? And he said, yes, it could very well change. It could either move up or it could move down over time. And especially with Halloween Ends coming out, it could affect that too. I didn't hear you mention anything about that in your video, Everyday Horror. The one thing I did hear you mention, though, you discussed your love for the channel, the Myers Fan 25. Here's the thing, if you love that channel, good for you. Here's the thing, I used to like the channel, the Myers Fan 25. I actually did a video a while ago over on my old channel, which I plan on bringing over to here, and you'll probably see that before I make this video. It was one of my older videos, and the video was titled something like my thoughts on the Myers Fan 25 and the Halloween fan base as a whole. And it was because of one of the videos he posted talking about, because I'm not sure if you guys know, the Myers Fan 25 is a huge fan of the film Resurrection. Halloween Resurrection, the 8th movie in the Halloween franchise, and was the last film within the original run of the franchise before Rob Zombie came in and rebooted the franchise. Again, if he likes Halloween Resurrection, or any of you guys do, that's cool. You know, you're entitled to your own opinion. My opinion is, it's not a great movie. It's definitely in competition for me with one of the worst films of the franchise. One of the things the Myers Fan 25 was stating in the video was, and I'll try to find the links to all these videos and the channel so you guys can see for yourself and kind of come up to your own conclusion on all of this. But he basically stated that one of the reasons why people didn't, like the main reason why people didn't like Halloween Resurrection was because of Busta Rhymes. While he is right in that regard, that one of the reasons for why most people didn't like Halloween Resurrection was because of Busta Rhymes and his character. Now, what he's not real right on, and I feel like is kind of a false claim, and he had no real evidence to prove this, and that is because most of the Halloween fan base did not like Busta Rhymes and the character Freddie Harris in Halloween Resurrection is because due to racism. They didn't like him because he was a black guy. They didn't like him because he was a leading black character in a horror film who actually survives at the end. I think that's bullshit too. He didn't have any proof to back that up, and therefore I call bullshit. And here's the thing, for me personally, I really liked LL Cool J in Halloween H2O. I liked his character, and guess what? He was one of the few minority characters in a horror film that actually survived a slasher movie. And I actually would have preferred to see him in Halloween Resurrection than Busta Rhymes. I will admit, Busta Rhymes is one of the few entertaining parts of Resurrection. In some ways. Now, there's some ways I feel like he kind of bastardized the franchise and everything like that in regards to the character. Now, am I talking about the actor? Not really. I mean, he got paid to do that. He was directed a certain way by Rick Rosenthal and the studio, and that's what the studio and Rick Rosenthal wanted, and he did what he had to do. Now, I'm not blaming Busta Rhymes per se, but I am blaming the direction of the character. And basically, in a way, he kind of helped bastardize the character of Michael Myers. So basically, there are scenes of like the scene where he dresses up as Myers and everything like that, and we see the real Myers behind him, played by Brad Loree, and he's like, turns around, starts giving shit to Myers and everything like that, and basically, literally in his face, tells him to get the fuck, just basically go the fuck away. And Myers not only looks about as confused as most of the audience probably did, but also he's like, and then just walks away. He listens to Busta Rhymes. He listens to Freddie Harris. Now, in my opinion, Michael Myers, the real Michael Myers, would not have listened. He would have, this would have been the case for any character who would have done that to Myers. Just anybody. He would have butchered the hell out of anybody who did that. He would have not just walked away and looked confused. He would have looked like he would have been about to fuck you up for that. And he would have fucked you up for that. And then there's other stuff too, like Busta Rhymes karate chop, like using karate to defeat Michael Myers. And yeah, it just looks ridiculous. Again, anybody doing that, it would have looked ridiculous any other way, even if it wasn't Busta Rhymes. Hell, if it was me doing it, it would look completely and utterly ridiculous. Also too, there's a moment in the climax of the film where he takes I don't know what these tools are, but basically shocks Myers in the balls. Yeah, so it's not... Yeah, so, and again, if it was any other character, if it was a white person, if it was a woman, man, I don't care, no matter what race or gender, sexuality, nothing like that. If a character went there and did that with the Shape, did that with Michael Myers, I feel like the majority of people would still have a problem with it. About as bad as a problem with it as if Busta Rhymes did that. I just don't know. I don't know with a lot of these Halloween fans, and I hate the fact that I had to make another video about these types of people. Yeah, and again, if Everyday Horror doesn't like Halloween Kills, that's fine by him. He's entitled to his own opinion. Just like how me and the rest of the horror community is entitled to our opinion of Halloween Kills. And could opinions change over time, the more times you watch a movie or something like that? Yes, they could. They could clearly change over time. And that happened with me. And here's the thing, disclaimer, I'm not being paid by Jason Bourne. hell, I don't even have any connections to Jason Blum or Blumhouse or anybody. I honestly have no connections within the film industry itself. So what's going to be your excuse then, Everyday Horror? You going to, at this point, you wouldn't be able to say, oh, I'm talking positively about Halloween Kills and that just because I'm getting paid by Jason Blum to say it. No, I'm not. I have zero connections with the studio. And Jason Blum and anybody who works there. I have zero connections to the film industry as a whole, and I'm being 100% honest. I mean, this is somebody who's trying to get into the film business and that. Somebody who is trying to get their feet wet and still hasn't really achieved that. I'm trying to build up a portfolio of films and everything, and viewer reception and that, and then eventually maybe starting to work with. I don't actually intend on working in the mainstream Hollywood industry, because personally, the mainstream Hollywood industry could go fuck itself. For me, I would stay with the independent industry and everything like that, and maybe work with some, more well-known actors in the horror genre. They would have to be actors and actresses who have done low-budget independent films even as of late. Again, Everyday Horror can't say that kind of shit about me. If he makes a response video, he sees this video, he can't make that kind of remark. Again, I'm not trying to trash Everyday Horror. I actually did watch his entire video to see if his points landed. And again, there were some points that did land, like again, how Dave McRae seemed to change his tune and everything like that. Yeah, I will admit it was a bit odd, but at the same time too, I wasn't expecting Halloween Kills to be as good as it was, my first time watch. Actually, I was going in thinking that it would have not been good, because again, I didn't really care for Halloween 2018 that much. But again, not to say there was anything that wasn't good in Halloween 2018. There were definitely some good things about it and good moments and everything like that. And is Halloween 2018 technically a bad Halloween movie? No, I mean, it's definitely not definitely not the worst Halloween film of the franchise, but it's definitely not one of the better ones either. That's the case for Halloween Kills, because again, this guy feels like Halloween Kills is the worst film in the franchise, which again, that's your opinion, and this is my opinion. I definitely don't think Halloween Kills is the worst film in the franchise, but do I think it's one of the better films? I don't know. It will be one of those things where I might have to do multiple rewatches and everything, and just kind of come to my own, my full-on conclusion. Because again, I've only seen the film once, and my initial reaction is that I really enjoyed the movie. I liked it better than Halloween 2018. I did have a few issues, and maybe I'll start to notice more issues the more times I watch it. I really hate talking about this stuff. I really do. I wish movie fans could be more considerate. I wish movie fans could be more, just be like, more, understanding. Just basically be like, you know what, that's your opinion, whatever. If you like a movie, you like a movie. I'm not going to hate you for your opinion. Because here's the thing, Everyday Horror and other channels like you. Film is art, and art is meant to be subjective. So that means, if one film comes out and let's say certain portion of people like it and certain portion of people don't. Some people may feel indifferent about a film, and all that is totally fine. Now, what isn't fine is how people respond to other people's thoughts about said art. I'm just tired of this. Can we just discuss movies and TV shows in a more mature manner? Can we discuss them in an actual debate? You could have an actual debate without it getting heated. But now it seems like these days, no matter whether you talk about movies, politics, religion, it gets heated, and I hate it. I hate the fact that a lot of this stuff, you can't seem to have a debate anymore with people at all. Even about something as simple as movies. And I hate that, and I wish to see that stop. And again, disclaimer before I end this video was not meant to go on and attack these channels like Everyday Horror or the Myers Fan 25. it was just me just basically discussing my thoughts and trying to think, like, why you guys thought the way, like, have you, like, think the way you do. You know, so that maybe I can understand more and everything like that. It's basically, you know, and again, here's the thing too. Even if I did have connections with Jason Blum and Blumhouse, I would still be critical of them with, you know, if I feel the need to. You know, I'd be like, for example, and you'll eventually see me and Josh do a review of this film, but I didn't like Fantasy Island, just a nothing movie in that, and, you know, I would actually say that stuff to Jason Blum's face. I'd be like, you know what, I didn't like films like Fantasy Island and that for these reasons and that and stuff, you know, and I would be like that with the films that I do like from Blumhouse, you know. It's like, I just don't care, you know. I'm one of those filmmakers that be straightforward and honest with people. This video's gone on longer than I feel like it really need to, and honestly, I just really don't like having to do these videos, and, you know, but I just felt like this video, there were some things I definitely felt like I had to say, have to mention in this video. I've been seeing some really stupid things come out from the fans of this franchise and that, like, for example, there was that, I'm not sure if you guys remember, and I'll do a whole separate podcast episode maybe discussing about this, but that whole thing where somebody made like a GoFundMe or something like that. I don't remember what it was. Like basically a GoFundMe page and everything. This was from a future somebody who wanted to be a firefighter and that, and basically was offended that Michael Myers would kill firefighters, and that had to be one of the more like stupid things I've heard from Halloween fans, and I'm like, and horror movie fans. I'm like, I'm just tired of the stupidity of certain fandoms. I am. And I'm not just talking about horror, like Star Wars and, you know, just all this different stuff. And I'm like, it really makes it hard to be a fan, you know, just love movies in general, or to discuss movies. So that's it for episode 2 of the Graveyard Shift podcast. Now, tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Do you think Everyday Horror is right about, you know, Halloween Kills and these different horror YouTubers basically talking positively about Halloween Kills? Or are you or do you agree with me and everything and think that's just some sort of like out there conspiracy theory in which Everyday Horror has zero proof on? If the channel Everyday Horror watches this video, again, this video was not meant to attack you or anything like that. It's just to kind of discuss like my thoughts in regards to your video and that. And I just feel like you got some points okay, and then other points you got so wrong, you know. And, you know, you're basically making accusations towards these YouTubers and that in which you showed zero proof on. And again, I'll post the link to the channels I mentioned, like the Myers Fan 25 and Everyday Horror, and their videos I mentioned in the description box below, so you guys could see for yourself and come up to your own conclusion whether or not you think these channels are right about their thoughts and everything like that, or if not, and you think they're just some sort of like weird conspiracy theorists. So that's it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, keep it creepy.